Hello guys, Nigel here with you, back again, and here we are now with part 20 of this Spitfire build, and this is the Airfix 124 Spitfire. Well, I left you last time, remember we'd done the decals, and then I said what I'll do offline, let it all dry out, give it a wipe over, give it a wipe down with a damp cloth, and then I'll get some flat clear on there. So I've done the flat clear now. This is Tamiya LP23, so as you can see it's got a very slight sheen to it, but nothing very much. It's actually very nice indeed. So you can see it's looking all lovely there. These gun panel doors obviously keep falling out because they're on the bottom. We've got all this masking tape here to remove. We've got some masking tape there to remove. And we've got to get the door sorted out wherever the door is. Where is the door? The door is in here. So we've got to get that sorted out as well. So yeah, everything's done. Did I matte coat the inside of the door? Yes, I did. That's cool. Right, so that's ready to go on. So that's going to be glued into there like so. We have got a little ledge to glue it on with. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to go that way around, so I'm going to have to paint that edge as well, which will be fine. We'll get that all chipped up and everything. We've also got to put the little bar in there as well, which is silver, not red. So yeah, as you can see, all looking really nice. I think all the work we did around the wing roots and everything has paid off. It looks really nice with the additional detail added in there and the very small step compared to the huge step I had before. So yeah, all in all, very, very pleased with it. I've just noticed here, you can see I've got a bit of silvering there next to that walkway line. You can see there's a bit of silver in there. So what I'm going to do is come along there with a knife, just slice through that. I should be able to go in two angles and cut that away. There you go, you see, you just scrape it away, and then what we can do then is just put a drop of microsol in there, or a drop of satin sol, just a drop of microsol. Drop of that in there, and that should take that down and get rid of it. So there we are. And if anywhere else we find a place like that, they're going to do the same. This over here, if you remember when I left you, this here had all moved. It hadn't shrunk. I'd actually picked it up stupidly, and I picked it up and moved the decal, so I managed to get it to go back. But if you remember, this was all pulled away here. So yeah, I managed to get it to go back, so that was lucky. But all along here, everything's looking good. There's no silvering anywhere. These decals, absolute dream to use. You won't have seen it yet. I've just noticed another area there that I could do with doing again. If you probably won't have seen it yet, although you may have done. I'm not sure what order this is all going out in. But the Tacom decals, the decals on the Tacom Apache are horrible. They're thick. They're like bloody sellotape, and they're dead matte, and they've got masses of carrier film on them. So that project has been stalled because somebody's bound to come out with a set of decals for it, because it's a beautiful kit but it's let down by terrible instructions, and the decals are just dire. They are horrible. So yeah, unfortunate. It's the way it is. So I just want to see if I can get a knife down in that groove there. Just slice through that decal. There we go. And then we should be able to brush a bit of microsol now. And it basically just, if your decals have got the panel line and it's softened at all, then this should get them to go down. Even though, like in the case of these have been down for about, I don't know, a week, 10 days. When did I do the last video? 19th of May. Today's the 30th. So yes, 10 or 11 days. So there we are. But you can see that that's gone in there. It's gone in there. It's going to need some more in there, I think. But anyway, there we are. So, all looking good. So what do we do now? We've got to look at some final assembly. Let's put these setting solutions away. So we've got lots and lots of bits and pieces to do. We have here, we have obviously the spinner, the back plate and the propeller, so we've got to deal with all that. That's also been flat coated. I've got the rear view mirror to go on. That's going to be glued onto the top of the canopy. the windscreen. We've got the masking to take off of here on the inside and the outside. So that's our main canopy. Obviously the whole thing's got to be unmasked. We have bits and pieces here. I've done the wheels and tyres. These wheels and tyres are gorgeous. You can literally put them together. You see that there? It's lovely, yeah? You can literally put them together with no cement. So that pops in the back there with no cement, and then the wheel pops into the tyre with no cement. So you don't have any worries about glue running around and getting onto the silver or the black paint or anything. So you can see the wheels out of the box. They're lovely. So I'm really happy with that. I've also done the tail wheel. Now unfortunately the tail wheel is so tight in its holder or in its leg that when you come to put the wheel in, you scratch the paint up. So we've got to touch that up and make sure we don't touch the paint. But I can't glue the wheel yet because obviously we need to find the flat spot. So that's going to go in. Remember, we've already thinned this out. Remember, it was really thick and it has to be thinned out. So that's that done. And then basically just carry on. We've got all the little bits and pieces in here. We've got the guns to go in. We've got the cooling ducts for the guns, pitot tube there. We've got the barrels there for the ammo belts on the cannons. All sorts of bits and pieces, all ready to go back together and get it finished. The other thing we haven't done is the exhausts, and here they are. And I'm going to try this paint here. This paint, Ammo MIG contacted me, or MIG Ammo contacted me and said, would you like some of our A-stand paint for free to test out? So I said, yes please. So they've sent me a few of them, and this is one of them. It's basically, they're saying it's basically Alclad. That's what people are saying. I'm not so sure that it is. One big problem with this is the shape of the bottle, because there's, I mean, when this settles, there's like 0.5 millimetre of pigment in the bottom of there. This colour is number 2321. It's called engine manifold, so I'm going to try it on these exhaust manifolds. But one of the issues we have is the fact that the bottle has this neck in it here. So when you tip it up sideways, I don't know if you can see in there, but we're not getting any pigment. You can see that what's sitting in the neck of the bottle is just clear. So you have to take it out with a pipette and put it into your airbrush, otherwise you don't get any pigment. So that's one of the issues I found with this one. Doesn't seem to be a problem with the blue one, but it does seem to be with this one. So we're going to get some of this into our airbrush and give it a go. I've got the airbrush here, set on about 18 psi. We've got a cotton bud stuck to the bottom of our airbrush holder. So we're going to get the model out of the way. I'm going to see how this stuff goes. Let's grab a pipette. Here's a pipette here. So give this a really good shake. And then we'll get some out into our pipette, into there. Okay, and we'll see how it goes. Now it's very smelly paint, so I'm only going to do 1 or 2 on camera, and then I go off into my booth to do the rest. But I want to protect my bench, so I'm going to use. In fact, what I'll do, I'll use this one. This is my old dirty one that I use for painting. There we go. So as you can see here, I've got the manifold, and that is just painted. That is just painted with black Mr. Surfacer. So I'm going to just activate that up. Spray some of this on here. Now you don't flood it, you put it on quite lightly. And if you remember when we did these manifolds about 28 years ago, it seems like, I put the weld seams on them. You can see the weld seams on there now. So just going to build this up very lightly, not flooding it on, not getting it wet, and this is going to be a base colour. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to like this or not, but remember, these exhausts don't rust. I've seen people paint them bloody red oxide. They don't rust. So I think they're made of nickel. Not nickel, what am I talking about? I can't remember what they're made of now. You just build that up slowly without flooding it. There we go. So, whew, that stinks. You can see how that looks. It's got that sort of brown sort of look to it. I think what I'll do is I'll give them a touch of a light sand colour as well to look like the fuel deposits left behind. So I'm going to get in the booth and finish them off. You can see how they look. They're under the light. Just get a light a bit better for you. There you go. So there we are. So I'll get the others done, and then we'll come back and have a look at how they look. Okay, so they're done, and you can see how they look. They kind of look like a sort of bronzy colour, I guess. I'm not sure I like it, to be honest, but it's the kind of colour you want them to be, and we can play with it now. So basically I've got now some LP16, which is wooden deck tan, which is a very, very light tan colour. And I've got it in here, and it's literally 90% thinner. There's hardly any paint in it at all. So I'm just going to do a quick little test and just put some discoloration on these things. I've got them split into their correct sides. You've got to remember, because the way these work, they sort of go overlapping each other, so the front one won't get this, but the other ones will, because all the smoke from this one is going over that one. So basically I'm just going to give it a very light dusting. So it's hardly even visible, but it's just something just to take away this bronzeness. Okay, so I'm looking at that, and I think we can actually give it a bit more. We'll also use this to weather the sides of the fuselage when it comes to it. And then what we can do is put an oil wash on. That'll make it all blotchy as well, which is what we want. And you can see now, if I look at that one there which hasn't got it and this one has, you can just see the slight difference in shade where it's had the petrol being blown over it. So we can just do a bit more if we want to. We can always just paint over them again with the manifold colour if we want to. Just playing with them, just really just play with it to your heart's content. The exhaust, I mean. So we won't do the fuselage yet because we haven't got the exhaust in, but we can put that back in there. And there we go. So close this jar up. You really should be spraying this in a booth, guys, but I'm showing you how I'm doing it. And the thing is, it's a tiny little drop, it's nothing much, so it won't hurt. There we go. So blow the airbrush out, and I'll see you when I see. So a little bit more work done, and they're starting to look nice. Now I've given them a flat coat of LP23 to seal them in, because I think Alclad products are enamel based and they can be affected by washes. So dries in 1 hour to the touch, dries completely in 24 hours, clean with airbrush cleaner. It says do not dilute. Bloody hell, if you dilute this you may as well have water. Right, so yeah, I got a feeling these are affected by oil washes, so be careful there. So I've sealed them in anyway with some LP23 flat varnish, and then I've gone over them with a brown oil wash. I've used the Modeller's World, where is it? Here it is. This is the light brown, so I'll leave that to dry for a few hours before we do anything else with it. But you can see that we've now got this kind of look to it. I'm not sure what it just looks like, sort of burnt tarnished metal, doesn't it? Looks like it's been hot. We might do a few bits of blue and stuff on there as well. Yeah, we'll have a little play with it, see what we can get, see what sort of effects we can get. But I do want to give it a dry brushing with something sort of metallic, like a metallic grey or something, just to sort of bring out the weld and that, you know, and see how they look. And then we'll do bits of black staining, and then finally we'll go in the ends with some matte black just to make them look a bit deeper than they are. But yeah, they're quite nice. Right, I'm glad I went to the trouble of adding all those welds on there. You can see the welds on there, so I'm glad I did that. Anyway, let's put that to one side. So this propeller and spinner, we could go on and assemble this. So we'll take the parts out of their wooden pegs and everything. Just get them down on the bench, like so. Put those away, and that can go over there. Right, so this back plate is going to go onto the back of the propeller. There's a Jess hair there. So that's going to go like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our radius blade, just remove some paint from there, just like so, and we'll do the same there. There we go, and then we can get our extra thin. Put a drop of extra thin, talking like a robot. Drop of extra thin on there, drop on there, drop on there, drop on there. That should be enough to hold it. And then we can plonk that onto there, just like so. Give it a squeeze. There we are. So that's gone down nicely. I think I've got some glue on my fingers, so I don't want to pick that spinner up. But there we go. And then this, we'll take the blue tack out, or the white tack. Get it out somehow. God, that stuff is sticky. Wow, that is really, really stuck in there. There we go. So put that over there out of the way. And then that spinner is going to drop on there, and I think what I'll do, it almost stays there on its own. I think what I'm going to do is get my Mig Ammo Ultra Glue. This is like a Mig Ammo promo video, isn't it? I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of Mig Ammo products on the whole. But some of the stuff's okay, but generally I think a lot of it is, some of the stuff's a bit gimmicky, isn't it? And the one thing I don't like is their sanders. They go like 320 grit, or is it 320? .320 grit straight to 1200. It's like, don't know why they do that. So that can go on there, like so. Just plonk on there. And then we can take a cotton bud, get a fresh one, just wet it with my tongue, just wipe over there, and any glue that's oozing out will be gone. And that'll be enough to hold that spinner on. So there we go, that's our prop all done. That's all had a flat coat as well. There we go. And that's pretty much that. Lid back on there. So that's our prop done. There we go, so we can put that in there for safekeeping without knocking it over. Right, let's have a look at these wheels. So we've got the wheels are going to go on here. So they're going to fit on here. And obviously they're handed. It looks like they're going to press on there without glue as well, which is really handy. We've got the gear doors are going to glue in there. So what we want to do is get a pointy tool and remove some paint from in there. Remove some paint from in there and in there. And then get a sanding stick and just sand those areas flat. So that we can glue the doors on there. There we go, maximum contact will get the best joint. So they're basically going to go on there. If that's the right side, it's going to go on like that, isn't it? I think that's the wrong side. So that's going to go like that in there. So you can see those ejector pin marks, they disappear. And then the wheel's going to go on there. So it's all looking very, very lovely. So let me get the model back over upside down in a box, and we'll look at getting this landing gear fitted. Okay, so what I'm finding here, when I put the wheels on, I think I can show you here. If I put this wheel on this side, you can see it's all correctly done. There's the tyres are common. The only bit that's different are the actual wheel centres themselves. There's J6 and J5. But the two backs are J9 and all the tyres are J20, J21. So the only difference is the actual wheel itself. So if I put this wheel on this side, you can see that is obviously not correct. The flat spot is over there. It's sort of in line with that. And if I put it on this side, you can see the flat spot is kind of, it's like, if I get a long straight edge, you can imagine this is the ground. It's not correct. It needs to be on the back there. So these wheels are, the tyres are incorrectly made. If I put this one in here with that little nubbin in its correct slot, and we have the flat spot on the bottom, you can see there, sorry, we have the flat spot on the bottom. You can see that the flat spot's over there, but on this side it will be again, it's on the wrong angle. It's almost like the aircraft's got its tail off the ground. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to press these wheels out of here. It's lucky you don't glue them, isn't it? Press that out of there, like so. And then using my modelling knife, I'm going to remove that nubbin. This will all be hidden by the undercarriage door, so there's no worry there. Let's remove that nubbin and sand that away like that. Do the same on there. I don't know if anybody else has found this or noticed it. I'm sure I haven't done anything wrong. You can't do anything wrong because they're all the same. And then this is going to go together. Where was the nubbin? Where was the nubbin I've just removed? There it was. So that's going to go sort of roughly in that position there. So what we can do now is put this on here with the flat spot at the bottom. We can see that's roughly right, and I can now press that wheel into place just like that, and I can turn the tyre. I can pull the tyre off, and I can rotate the tyre now to get it in the correct position, which is basically a long straight edge. I want to get it so that the flat spot is pretty much where it is now. There we go, and that can go on just like that, and that's fixed in place now. So I'll do the same on the other one, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look how it looks. And there we go, guys, that works. So we've now got the tyre slightly out, but you can't see it, obviously. You'll see it when I look at the final reveal photos, but I can actually see that now. That is sat there on its flat spots. And while I've been off camera, I grabbed the book, the Airfix book here, and sure enough, you can see here, if you look closely, you can see the flat spot is not in the correct place. If you look on the wheel on the starboard side, you can see there that there's definitely the flat is on that sort of angle. So Airfix have made a boo-boo there. They got it wrong, which is a shame, but easily corrected. So there you are. Right, what are we going to do next? We'll have a look at these undercarriage doors. So these are going to go on. That's that side, isn't it? So that's going to go in there like that. Let's do this side first. So that's going to go in there like that, and then it goes in a long way. I'm just looking to see. There we go, that's lined up now on those slots. So that's going to go in. I think what I'll do is take that panel out. We'll get rid of that panel, and we'll get rid of that panel over there as well, because they're getting in the way. And then we can put this down, and then we can simply get this on. And I'm going to have to glue these on off camera, I think, guys, because I can't see what I'm doing, and you see what I'm doing as well. So what I'll do, I'm going to put some extra thing in here. Put some in there, put some in there. I might be off camera here, guys. Somebody commented on my last video, you're off camera. Yeah, I'm afraid that happens. When you're building up the main structures and stuff, it's not so difficult, but when it comes to this sort of work, you often can't see. Excuse me, I've still got my stinking cold. You often can't see where you're supposed to be working, so it's hard to concentrate on what's going on. So we'll turn the model around and do this side. Put some glue into there, get some glue into there, and then get that one into there and that one into there. There we go, that's gone together beautifully. It doesn't want to stay in place. There we are. They don't feel very positively fitted, I must be honest. Feels like something's stopping them. It's like that oleo leg is stopping them going on. It's very strange. It feels like this oleo leg here, it's stopping it going on. There's nowhere for it to go. I guess that'll have to do. I'm not going to start carving stuff around now. Yeah, you can see here, this oleo leg here. Look at here, that there is sticking out. It's stopping the it's stopping the door going on. So I'm just going to carve some of that away because it won't be seen. That should give us a far better location. Let's turn this around so I can see what I'm doing again. Get some extra thin in there, get some in there. And then that can go in there, that can go in there, there we go. That's a lot better, I can feel that straight away, that's better. There we go. Yeah, the top's stopping it as well. This is ridiculous. Who designed this undercarriage? It's a mess. It's not good. It's not very well thought out, is it? Do the same on this side. I'm going to cut away a chunk of that there. And I'm going to cut away a chunk of that there. Just so that the door has got somewhere to go. So I'll add some more extra thin on here, some more in there, turn this around and then get that on just like so. I can feel straight away it's more positive. You can see how it sticks on there straight away. That's much better. Right, so now these panels can go back in if they'll fit. With tweezers. Don't tell me the door's going to stop that going in there. No, I've got it sunken at the front. That's where I've gone wrong. Oh, come on, Nigel, get your act together. This is awkward. I think these are going to have to go in. I think they need to really go in before the doors. I hate it when this happens. You've got a kit that goes together really well with no real issues, and then you get to the final furlong and everything starts, it's like that bloody, everything starts playing up. It's like that bloody Apache with the decals. I've fought with that all the way through the build with those awful instructions, and I've got all the final paint on and everything, and then it comes to the decals and bang, it smacks you in the mouth. Okay, so that's those doors glued. That is ridiculous. Come on guys, what were you designing here? It's a load of crap. So you can't put them in with those panels in, and you can't put those panels in with the doors in, so what are you supposed to do? Let's drop a quick setting in there. And then we'll just get a peg on there, like so. Is that side pulling away as well? Yes, it is. So turn the model around, get a drop of quick setting in there, just like so, and then we'll get a peg on there as well. There we go. Oh shit, come on. There we are. So that's good, we'll let those dry and then we're good to go. Okay, so still pushing forward with this. I've done a little bit of work off camera. I've just plopped the propeller on, it's just pressed on. I've glued the crew access door in place there, and I've gone around and painted the interior green around the edge. I'm going to have to go in with a bit of black oil there just to sort of pick up on the detail and make it blend with the rest of the cockpit. As for the rest of the aircraft, I have decided I am not going to weather it. I'm not even going to give it a wash. I'm just going to leave it like this, clean, like a museum piece, because it is so nice. It's such a lovely little model, and if I start trying to add chipping and dirt and all that sort of stuff, I think it's going to detract from the finished article. I don't know, it'd just be nice to have something clean for a change, and I'd like to give this away to a museum or something, and they'd probably rather have it in its clean condition. But when it's got the engine covers on and stuff, you see it just looks nice, doesn't it? It looks like a nice little model. I don't know. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but it just looks like a nice little model. So I think that's what we'll do. So I'm fitting the guns now. If you remember, I did way back. I decided I'd leave the guns out and try and fit them later, just to show that it can be done. This is the gun we need for this outer port here. We have these belts, and they sort of face into this area here. So basically it's that gun we need for that area there. So we're going to turn the model over. Okay, and I'm going to put that gun on the bench upside down. I'm going to grab my tweezers and I'm going to feed the gun in through the hole. I've got to get the barrel to go down into that slot in there, as you can see. And I just want to prove this can be done. But now the camera's on, it's going to be a complete swine, I know it. That's got in the hole now, right, so that's got in the hole in the wing. So what we do now is pick the gun up, end it, push it forward, just like so, and then drop it down in on an angle. It'll go down in between that gun mount, and then just clip it in, like so. You can see there, that gun is actually in on its mount. All good. Job done. So now we can do that one there, so I'm sure this one's going to be easier. That's going to go in like that. Just keep it lifted up, keep pushing forward, and it will go in. There we go. And then just finagle it around on an angle, and it will go in, and you can clip it into its gun mount there. And again, a snap tight kit it is. We don't need to glue anything, it's just all going to stay in place. So again, we'll get that gun that way round, get it into there. There we go, that's gone down into there. Just push it forward and it clips in. There we go. Job done. So we've now got all 4 machine guns in and fitted. Okay, so they're looking good. Now we can go to our box. We've got our cooling tubes and cannons and everything on. I'm going to refer to the instructions here. The cannons looks like the cannons go in first, do they? That looks like the cooling tubes go in first. So I've already put those cooling tubes in the outers there, but this one is going to go, that one's going to go into there, so that's going to go into there. And then drop down and go into a hole in there, like so. So that's in like that, and then the back end's in there. So that's that one in. And then we've got a cannon going in. Now are these identical or are they handed? They look to be identical, so that's going to go into there and then drop down in to its groove. Okay, so that's going to need some glue on it. So we'll get some extra thin in here. And then we can just drop that down in, just like so. And then we've got the feed chute going in, and that is correct, that's facing forward. So that's going to go into that slot there, and go down. Okay, that's just going to sit on top of the cannon like that. And it looks like that needs to go down. Yeah, I need to pull that back out of there. It looks like there's a groove that this goes into. And then you just kind of force that down like that. It's getting caught up on the rib on the other side. This is a bit strange. There we go, that's gone in now. So as you can see, it's all just snap fitting in place. I mean, we could put some drops of glue on here if we wanted to, just to hold it in, but don't really see the need at the moment. It's all just going to stay there. So I'll get the same done on the other side, and then I'll come back and we'll get this thing properly sewn up. Okay, so there we go, that's both sides done. We've got all the cooling pipes in and everything. I see that one's popped out of there, which it keeps doing. I'll just pop that one back in. They're actually glued in, those. So another little drop of cement in there just to get it all activated again. I'll put a drop in the back here as well. There we are. And then that can go into there, that can go into there. And I think I'll do the same on the other side actually, just put a drop in the back there just to help it stay there. There we go. So if you want to have your guns displayed like this, let's just put it in here properly, then you will find that these gun covers don't go on with those ammunition drums there. So what you can do is just take them out. I mean, I'm worried I'm going to pull the gun out, but there we go. If I just hold the gun in place, you could just take them out. In fact, you could probably, no you can't. I was wondering if you could stick them in there. And then that'll fit perfectly. So you can either display your model as many do with the gun covers on the side like that and have these in place. Here we go again, let's go wrestling for some fun. Just push that down into there. Just push that down into there, he says. There we go, that's gone in. Second time is so much easier. And then have your gun cover displayed on the side like that. So it's up to you how you do yours. Obviously we've got to get rid of the mass. First of all, I want to do these exhausts. So we've got to look at these exhausts carefully. Let's get these gun doors out of the way so they don't get damaged. They go in, if you can see on here, there's like an angle. There's an angle on one side, and that angle has to face down. And if you remember, we did these, and one of the exhausts didn't have the light brown painted on it, which would be the front one. So we'll start from the back we just put these in, and I've got a feeling, just like a lot of this build, these are becoming a push fit. But I'm not sure, that's not gone in right at all, has it? Yeah, that's a push fitted there, so they don't need to be cemented, which is great because it means we can adjust them all after they're in and get them looking lovely, because sometimes these can be a bit of a pain to get them all the same, all nice and straight and everything. I'm liking the way they look. Really liking that. Trying to find the hole. There we go. Now that one's actually quite loose. This is one of the biggest problems with this kit, is the engine covers. As you know, I've done a lot of carving around to get them to fit, and added little pins and stuff, and a lot of them have got broken off. But it's one of the biggest problems. There's no, like with the Tamiya one, you've got the magnets and stuff, but with this there's no way of holding anything together. Let's just get that wash over there. So it all just keeps wanting to fall off, which is a bit of a pain. I don't think the kit is actually designed to have the engine covers fitted with the engine. I think you, as they show you in the instructions, you have the option to have it either all closed up or like this with no engine covers on. Oh, this is becoming a little tedious now. There we go. But as you can see, they are a very nice fit. I can just push them in. There we are. Then I'm assuming now the engine cover, the engine side cover, wherever it may be, wherever it has disappeared to, here it is. I'm assuming that will still fit. Yes. Yeah, that's all gone together lovely. And then the top one will fit on absolutely fine. Sorry I was off camera then. I keep going off camera, don't I, guys? It's because the models are pretty big. So there we go. So that all fits together lovely, and the belly will go on and stay on as long as you don't touch it. So I'm going to get those other exhaust fitted, and then we'll come back and have a look at the finished build. And there we go. There she is, all done. All the masking's off, canopy's on, and it's all looking good. As I said, I've just got to go around and put some oil around there. In fact, I'll do that now so it looks a bit better. There we go. Took just a few seconds to do that. Let's just get in there again with a cotton bud and just remove a little bit more of that in there. Oh, it's a shadow. I thought it was oil. But, there we go. So all done. Happy with that. And as I say, not going to do any more weathering on or anything. I'm just going to leave it as it is, spotlessly clean, like a die cast, like a museum piece, whatever you want to call it. So, what do I think of this model? Overall, I think it's Airfix's best. It's very, very nice. It goes together well. The best part of it was the decals, the best decals I've ever used. It's a shame there's like the control column is missing. There should be a column that goes back from the control column back underneath the seat. I think the plastic harness idea is a great idea. You know, you've seen me thin them out and you can see them there. They look perfectly in scale. They look fine. Everything. Maybe they've got a little bit of zero gravity going on, but you know, the cockpit on the whole is very, very nice. Now, as you know, there's the Airscale set, and there's going to be Edward and everything. There's going to be millions of bits of aftermarket for this. I think the biggest letdown of the kit, if we're going to talk negatives, is you have all these removable panels and no way of clicking them into place. Like for instance, I've got all the panels here for the lower gun doors. You know, unless I put some double-sided tape or something or some magnets, there's no way of putting them in position. So it's nice that they come off. You could have them displayed on a diorama, but personally, if I built another one, I think I would just close it all up. But I wanted to do this with the gun showing and everything for you guys. And the biggest disadvantage with all this, it's the same with the engine covers, is, you know, you come along, you're at a show, and somebody says, how did you paint your radiators? And I've just remembered I've still left the foam in them. And you come along and you tip your model over, and the whole thing just falls apart. It's just crazy. You know, it's just absolutely unbelievable. And I've just realised, as I say, I've left the foam in the radiator. So let's get that out now before I forget. And then when I do a final reveal pictures, it won't be in there. There we go. Silly sausage. Right, so yeah, that is the biggest downfall I think with it. Everything just falls apart. So, you know, you could just glue it all into place, but if you want to have it sort of, you know, you might want to display it one day with the guns open and the next day with them closed. But as I say, a lot of people do this sort of thing. They have the doors just placed on like that, and then you can display it like that way. But I personally, I'd rather use the right gun door in the right side. That helps. But personally, I'd rather have it like this, you know, optional, so that I could show it. Now I have got another kit, as you all know, and I've got some extras for it, some aftermarket. I'm seriously considering, when I build that one, it won't be anytime soon, because to be honest I've had enough of this one. When I build that one, I'm going to put magnets everywhere, because having all this just falling off is a joke. You know, it'd be easy to put a steel plate or something in there and put a magnet inside the supercharger, so that it holds it down. I've got a boatload of magnets. The other thing that's pissing me off big time is this effing tail wheel. It goes in there so tight that it scratches all the paint. As you can see, the tyre paint is all scratched because it's so tight, but it keeps just falling out. It needs to be glued in really, I guess. But a lot of the model has been snapped together come the end, as you've seen in this video, which has been cool. And that makes life a lot easier for not messing things up with glue marks and stuff like that. But on the whole, yeah, I'd give the kit an 8 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10 if it had some way of just clipping the panels into place rather than having them all just falling off. And the other thing I really didn't like about this model, that really did me in, was down this side. And it's not my kit. I've got two kits and they're both exactly the same. If you look at this side, all the rivet detail is lovely and crisp and sharp and beautiful. On this side, it all looks like it's been dragged through a hedge backwards. So if you remember, I filled all those rivet holes in and redid them because they were just so massive. It's like this side is like properly moulded in, all nice and sharp, and this side it's almost like someone's dragged a comb across the model while the plastic's still soft. I know that hasn't happened, but that's what it looks like. But it's just the tool manufacturer is a lot softer there than it is there. So anyway, I'll do some reveal photographs. A couple of people have suggested that I should get a diorama base or something for my photographs, and they're right, I really should. But I don't have one at the moment, so I can't use one. So I'm just going to have to be doing what I do. So I'll put a little bit of music on, a few photographs, and then you can sit back and enjoy. And hope you've enjoyed the build. As I say, I'd like to give this to a museum or something, so if anyone out there knows someone who wants it, let me know. So I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.